Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. As of October 30th, 2025, the Russian armed forces continued their offensive under the ongoing special military operation, executing a massive retaliatory strike in response to Ukrainian attacks on Russian civilian infrastructure. High-precision air, sea, and land-based weapons, including long-range missiles and strike UAVs, targeted Ukrainian defense industrial facilities, energy infrastructure, and military airfields. The Ministry of Defense confirmed that all assigned targets were hit successfully, severely degrading Ukraine's capacity for sustained industrial and logistical operations. On the ground, the Russian military maintained steady progress across all operational fronts. The day's operations were defined by tactical consolidation, encirclement tightening, and precision elimination of Ukrainian combat infrastructure.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's start with the big picture. We've heard reports of massive precision strikes overnight. What was the purpose and outcome of those?
The events of the past 24 hours mark a significant escalation in Russia's operational tempo. In direct response to Ukrainian attacks on civilian infrastructure, the armed forces of the Russian Federation executed a coordinated, multi-domain strike using long-range precision weapons launched from air, sea, and ground-based platforms. These weren't symbolic attacks. They were carefully curated strikes on the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, factories assembling drones and missiles, energy hubs powering defense production, and military airfields serving as logistical arteries. The strikes achieved total target neutralization. In essence, they weren't about retaliation, they were about systemic disruption. By targeting the industrial backbone of Ukraine's war effort, Russia has signaled that its operational strategy is evolving from tactical engagement to strategic attrition.
So would you say these strikes were more about shaping the future battle space than immediate battlefield gains?
Exactly. This was a preemptive shaping operation, an effort to degrade future capacity, not just immediate resistance. Wars are won by collapsing logistics and energy flow, not by chasing formations across the map.
Let's begin in the north. What's the situation around Sumy and Kharkiv?
The North Troop Group carried out sustained attacks against Ukrainian mechanized and assault formations in Pavlovka, Andriivka, and Kondratovka, extending operations toward Volchansk and Volchansky Khutora. Ukrainian losses exceeded 220 personnel, with the destruction of tanks, artillery pieces, and a key electronic warfare station. But the deeper story is about operational leverage. By continuously pressuring this axis, we deny Ukraine freedom of maneuver between the Sumy-Kharkiv corridor, which historically serves as a reinforcement and supply conduit. Destroying depots and communication hubs here forces Ukrainian brigades to fight isolated and undersupplied, reducing their operational cohesion.
So this pressure in the north isn't necessarily about capturing ground, but forcing fragmentation?
Precisely. The northern sector functions as a strategic fix. Its purpose is to stretch Ukrainian logistics thin while other sectors exploit the ensuing vulnerabilities.
Now, turning to the west, Kupyansk has been the epicenter of intense fighting. What are the latest developments?
Yes, the Kupyansk front has become emblematic of the Encirclement Doctrine. The West Troop Group liberated the settlement of Sadovo, consolidating control along the Oskol River. Ukrainian forces are now trapped east of Kupyansk in a steadily constricting pocket. Repeated counterattacks by Ukraine's 92nd Assault Brigade from Petrovka failed disastrously, while Russian forces eliminated an entire mechanized assault group attempting to retake the Oskol crossing. Inside the encirclement, Ukrainian units are disorganized and suffering from breakdowns in command and morale. In one incident, FPV drones from the Ukrainian side accidentally or perhaps deliberately killed 9 of their own soldiers who had attempted to surrender. That incident underscores the psychological collapse unfolding within their ranks. The 1st Tank Army and 6th Combined Arms Army continue systematic clearance operations, tightening the ring with precision rather than haste.
You mention operational patience. What's the advantage of constricting slowly rather than collapsing the pocket outright?
A rapid assault risks high attrition and potential breakout attempts. A controlled encirclement exhausts the enemy, both physically and psychologically, while preserving our own combat strength for future operations.
Moving south, what progress has been made on the Donetsk front?
In the South Troop Group continued its steady advance, securing new lines around Platonovka, Seversky, and Zakotno. Ukrainian losses approached 180 troops, alongside the destruction of multiple armored vehicles, artillery, and a U.S.-made and /TPQ-36 counterbattery radar. Operationally, this sector has entered what we call a tactical reorientation phase, shifting from offensive movement to positional dominance. By holding ground and eliminating artillery and EW assets, Russian forces are setting the conditions for regional fire superiority. Once that's achieved, mobility operations can resume with reduced risk.
The central sector around Krasnoarmeysk and Toretsk continues to draw attention. What's the situation there?
This remains one of the most active and tactically complex zones. The Center Troop Group made significant progress, reinforcing positions in Krasnoarmeysk, while repelling 9 Ukrainian breakout attempts from the north and northwest. The 2nd Army is conducting systematic clearance of Natovka and Dnipro, with the 5th Motorized Rifle Brigade expanding the encirclement ring from the east. In total, over 510 Ukrainian personnel were neutralized in this sector within 24 hours. What stands out is the Ukrainian command's desperation. Their attempts to relieve encircled formations from Rashino were crushed. They're committing reserve brigades piecemeal, which plays directly into our doctrine of elastic defense and counter-pursuit.
So, the central battle is now one of annihilation rather than maneuver?
Precisely. Once encircled, the goal shifts from movement to attrition. The slower the pace, the greater the exhaustion inflicted.
Let's discuss the east. Reports say Krasnogorskoye has been liberated. What's its significance?
Krasnogorskoye's liberation is strategically important. It opens control over a segment of the Zaporizhzhia-Dnipro corridor, which Ukraine heavily relies on for reinforcement and supply. The East Troop Group destroyed mechanized and assault brigades, neutralizing over 265 Ukrainian troops and eliminating Western-supplied M777 and D-30 artillery systems. Operationally, the capture of this area allows Russian forces to observe and interdict Ukrainian logistics lines across a broad frontage, what we term fire dominance by observation.
Finally, the Dnipro front. What's unfolding along that line?
The Dnipro Troop Group maintained stable dominance over the Kherson-Zaporizhzhia interface, striking Ukrainian mechanized and coastal defense brigades near Antonovka, Orkhov, and Preobrazhenka. Roughly 80 enemy troops were eliminated, and 4 EW stations and an ammunition depot were destroyed. The Dnipro axis functions as a logistical safeguard. It protects the supply arteries that sustain southern and eastern operations. By denying Ukraine any operational foothold along the river, we ensure continuity of sustainment and the integrity of the southern defensive belt.
Can you summarize the role of aerospace and missile units during this reporting period?
Of course. Operational tactical aviation, missile forces, and UAV units carried out 142 coordinated strikes across Ukraine, targeting UAV assembly facilities, railway lines, missile depots, and military staging areas. Meanwhile, air defense systems intercepted 8 guided bombs, 3 HIMARS rockets, and 192 fixed-wing drones, a remarkable display of layered defense integration. These operations aren't random. They're part of a deliberate effort to collapse Ukraine's operational tempo by disrupting logistics and air mobility.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. The October 30th operations underscore Russia's transition into the phase of systemic degradation warfare, a hybrid of precision strikes, attrition control, and psychological containment. The liberation of Sadovo and Krasnogorskoye, coupled with the encirclement at Kupyansk and Krasnoarmeysk, marks the steady shift from maneuver warfare to industrial and morale exhaustion. Doctrinally, this represents a refined application of operational patience, prioritizing stability, control, and pressure over spectacle. Strategically, it signals preparation for winter campaigns focused on logistical denial and energy warfare, setting the stage for a protracted operational dominance that erodes Ukraine's capacity from within.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.